All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tunesday Tuesday number 83, featuring Craig Hendricks, singer-songwriter for the very first time here on Tunesday Tuesday, presented to you by the Boston Chris Show. We are excited to have done 83 of these now, and really excited to chat with you guys about Craig Hendricks. Let me tell you a little bit more about the retro country troubadour. Raised up in the countryside of Sandersville, Georgia, on family farmland and a wide variety of music, including Motown, bluegrass, and country icons, Craig spent his youth roaming the pine thickets and river bottoms, honing his songwriting and guitar picking after being introduced to the guitar by his grandfather. And although he was delayed getting to the music scene, Craig has already seen some measure of success as a young songwriter, including having a college literature class use one of his songs as curriculum and making semifinals in a recognized music contest while he cut his teeth performing for local fundraisers at any venue that would let him play. After finding success performing at increasingly larger venues, Craig left his job of many years, relocated in Northeast Alabama, and headed out to chase dreams. With the support of his wife, Dee Dee, Craig began making waves in music, landed a publishing deal after only 6 months in Nashville, and recorded his first single with Chemo Forrest, who was Alabama's guitarist and John Michael Montgomery's drummer, and that resulted in radio airplay and over 12 weeks on the Indie and UK charts. His debut EP, Destination Home, followed soon after, recorded with Art Ward of Century Music Group, and recorded at Soul Train Studio in Nashville. A second EP, which you just heard the title track of, followed a year later, and included award-winning songs Life Ain't Easy, I Want My Honky Tonk Back, and the title track, Bars and Stone. Craig's first full-length album was released May 20th of 2025. Recorded in Covington, Georgia at Tune Designer Studio with Beverly Gosden Jenkins. This album is a collection of originals and co-written songs, including some that have already won accolades and recognition. Craig continues to receive recognition as an accomplished performer and songwriter, touring the nation and bringing his troubadour style and retro country everywhere he goes. And guys, we are super stoked to get to chat with the retro country troubadour, the one and only Mr. Craig Hendricks. Let's get into it. Craig Hendricks, how are you, my friend? The retro country troubadour, right?
That's it. Doing good. How are you doing?
So where does the moniker come from of retro country troubadour?
Oh, they got pinned on me. Sometimes we're a victim of our era, and mine was '90s country, and um, I used to do a lot of, they still do a lot of solo stuff out. And somebody said one day that I was a troubadour, and I like that. I like that a lot. Sounds George Straitish. So yeah, just added it on there and let it roll off the tongue there.
Yeah, troubadour is a great word, man. It's always a great word. Just a traveling artist, right? A traveling
Yep.
songwriter,
Yeah.
storyteller. And you do your share of traveling. I have read a little bit about you, so this is probably a little more scripted than most. But I heard that you kind of got a late start in music.
Yeah. Yep. I'm a late bloomer, late to the party. Um,
Why
I
was
didn't show
that?
up. Well, had a did not have the best first marriage, and the 72 hours a week of working trying to pay bills kind of kept me from playing the guitar and singing a whole lot.
Yeah.
Uh, I wrote a song for my present wife for our wedding, and she said, "I didn't know you could write a song and sing." I said, "Yeah, been doing it." So she kind of pushed at me, and I'd always played and sung for my friends, and you know, out back and at the church, and I've been you every now and then. And she said, "Well, it's time to follow your dreams. Put up or shut up." I said, "Well, let's go."
Isn't that something that one relationship can stifle your creativity while another one helps it grow?
Oh yeah, yeah, big time.
And so, I mean, essentially, your fear from the first relationship of music being kind of maybe the end of that relationship, or maybe part of it, or at least being stifled because of that relationship. I imagine that fear is there to never do it again now that you've found this new relationship. You don't want to mess it up, right?
No, no, you don't mess it up. Yeah, you get asked by one of those ladies that likes to hang out in front of the stage. What are you doing when you get through with the show? I'm going to my hotel room and calling my wife.
That's right.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Yeah, so we are here to chat about a new song, and I'm gonna put Craig on the spot here in a minute as well. But I'd love to talk a little bit about your upbringing. You're from Georgia, right?
Yep, originally from Georgia, transplanted to Alabama back, I don't know, probably 10 years ago now, um, up in Lookout Mountain, northeast Alabama. But yep, grew up, spent most of my life in Georgia.
So what's the music scene like in Georgia as you're growing up? Like, how's that getting into you?
Oh man, I mean, back in the day coming up, we had great artists just tour through. I mean, Gene Watson would come through Dublin, Georgia, and play, and you had good artists that came through, and then of course the bands that you never heard of, that we all show up and listen to them. But it's changed a lot over time. You don't have the places to play anymore, and a lot of the small areas are they're not so open to outsiders as small town rural. But you still got a good music scene. You got some healthy stuff in Macon, Georgia, and you know things here and there. Some good stuff down on the coast, and up north too. You got the wineries and the vineyards and stuff up north. So I mean, there's still a lot of music around.
Yeah, I
there.
feel like Georgia is slept on when it comes to music, right? Like even the Atlanta area has been always very, very instrumental, no pun intended, in the creation of music. So what was the kind of the motivation to move to Alabama? Was that also relationship based, or was it work related?
No, it was all music related. I was at a job that didn't love, and I was doing music. I was doing better with music on the weekends than I was doing with a job during the week. And we were looking for somewhere we could get closer to music scenes. So we looked at Northeast Alabama and said, okay, we got Chattanooga, Atlanta, Huntsville. And it's not that far. It sounds crazy, but it's not that far to Hilton Head or Indiana. I mean,
Muscle Shoals is there, and
Muscle
yeah,
Shoals. Yep, I played down there a few times.
yeah. It just sounds like you wanted to be essentially like centralized for all of these possibilities, which is pretty smart. But I would not have guessed like Lookout Mountain to be kind of the choice for music.
No, no, it. In retrospect, it probably didn't put me right. It takes me 20 minutes to get off the mountain just to get started on my trip. So
That's so funny. Just coming down from the mountain. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, just that's 40 minutes of commute, just getting to the main road, right?
Yep. Pretty much.
Man, you don't understand rural until you've lived it. I live in Texas, so I completely understand it. Yeah. So even getting this late start, you've been pretty prolific in releasing music, and you got an EP, you got a full length record. You're pushing all of these songs, very, very heavily awarded. What do you think you can own to or owe all of this success to?
Oh, a lot of it. Well, I thank my Lord above, and I thank my wife. She has supported me at home, and I got my first tour because of her. She's from Maine, or well, originally from Connecticut, but she wanted to go back and visit family, and we couldn't afford to. So she said, "Hey, you're going on your first tour," and basically pimped me out as a troubadour on the way up while she visited friends. I was working and paying for it. But that kind of started our touring.
Man, fun
But
fact: if you guys are following us here, you're going to learn something you may not know about me, and that is the very first songwriter that I ever met was from the state of Maine.
oh, really?
Yeah, his name was Lord, Bob Dorley was his name, and he had a brother named Joe, and they were troubadours, to be fair. And so I lived in Massachusetts. Obviously, that's where I got my nickname from, Boston Chris. And they would come down and they would play all the time. So I think that's where my love of songwriting came from, was from a Maine songwriter of all places.
Oh wow! Well, and you got some good songwriters up there, and New England loves country music.
Yeah, crazy,
So
right?
it is. It's
Yeah.
funny.
But yeah, I love that. Hey, we're going to go visit family, so get your guitar out because we have to pay for this, right?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
amazing stuff. So, man, you get a late start in this, and I imagine for me personally, like, I'm not a musician or an artist or anything like that, but if I was in your shoes and now I'm in studios and I'm recording and I've got my voice is out there, singles are doing well, this would be very surreal to me. Um,
It is. It's. I have to rub my eyes sometimes and think about what I've done. You work at it really hard, and there's days I'm thinking I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not getting anywhere,
sure.
and then I think, well, I opened for Ricochet, last year up in Geneva, Ohio. Um, that was off of somebody heard my music and tracked us down and gave us a call. I ended up leaving Connecticut on my tour, driving to Geneva, Ohio, and opening for Ricochet. Um, I look back at some of the stages that I've shared with artists from the Louisiana Hayride, Jerry K. Green. He was on stage with Eddie Arnold and Hank Sr. And
Hmm.
in fact, I played with a band out of Grinder Switch, Centerville, Tennessee, the other day, and had Doyle Grissom behind me. I did a cover of a Randy Travis song that he actually laid the steel
Wow,
down on
that's
the record.
cool. That is
So
cool.
it's it starts adding up, and
It's important to take time to realize the things that are happening to you, isn't it?
it is it is very important, and to be appreciative of those opportunities and the things that I've been allowed to do.
Yeah, because the grind can beat you down. Like it can really hurt you, and like you put so much time into something, you don't see a lot of traction sometimes. But man, you were on stage with Ricochet, right? And you've got all of this cool stuff happening to you. So I think you have to make time for both of those things, right?
You do, and our songwriting, my songwriting's been going well. Um, I do originals of only that I've recorded only originals, and it started a long time ago. The first contest I ever got in, I made it to the finals, and I said, well, maybe I can do this. And since then, in fact, this the end of this last year, I wrote with James Tristan Redding, wrote a song. I didn't know he was doing anything with it at all. He calls me up earlier this year and said, "Hey, we won the Dallas Songwriting Association contest, grand prize winner." So
Cool.
I said, "Well, that's a good way to start a year out."
Well, let's talk about the songs then. You do have a new single that is out currently. The song is called Deere John. It's not the common spelling, though. I can't wait to hear you tell us about how this song came to be. Tell us all about it, man.
Well, I'd written a real song about losing the farm, and I was writing another one. We pitched to Farm Aid, and we play a lot of rural places. And I said, I want to write a song about the farm, but I want to write one about saving the farm, maybe a little trouble, but saving the farm. And I had just gotten through listening to Rodeo, the song
Mm.
Rodeo, and
Yeah.
I said, I like that point of view. I wonder if, what can I do to play with different point of views? I said, what if somebody wrote a Dear John letter to a John Deere tractor? And I know it sounds kind of campy to start with, but the John Deere has long been a metaphor for the farm and for the struggle.
Indeed.
And I kind of went that way with it. Um, and it ended up working out. It worked out, and it's not a. I have to be careful explaining that from the stage because it sounds like I'm fixing to do a comedy song, and it's not.
Yeah.
But
Well, we're excited to play it, but I'm also going to put you on the spot, Craig. We have a segment every week called Pick of the Week. And our special guest, who is you this week, you're in the hot seat. You get to pick any song on the planet to feature and have played here on the show this week. Artists will sometimes pick a song that inspired them as an up-and-coming person or artist. Some people will pick a song that from an artist they'd like to get more exposure for, or a friend or whatever. So I have stalled long enough to give you time to think. So what is your pick of the week? This is Craig Hendricks' pick of the week.
you know what? I think I'm going to pick Ashley Best, Cowboy.
Ashley Best. Okay, so that's a new one I have not heard of. So very excited about that. And so this is a very selfish segment because it's a good way to learn of new artists and stuff. So very cool. We'll get to learn of Ashley Best today and her song Cowboy. We're going to play Deere John here in a moment, but I also want you guys to follow along with everything Craig has going on. The website is CraigHendricksMusic.com, just like you can see it on your screen, but I'm going to spell it too because Hendricks can be spelled two different ways. It's CraigHendricks music.com. I'm not spelling music for y'all. Figure that one out on your own. And what are the social medias? Actually, I have those here too. It's at Craig Hendricks Music at Facebook. Instagram is at Craig_Hendricks_music. And is that all you got? You also have a YouTube, right, Craig Hendricks?
Yep, got a YouTube, Craig Hendricks Music.
Okay, so there you go. Follow along on your favorite platform. And Craig, I appreciate you doing this, man. We're going to get into the music.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, man. You have a good rest of your day.
You too.
All right, man. All right, guys. It's time to play the brand new single from Craig Hendricks. The song is called, as we mentioned, Deere John. Here it is from Craig Hendricks.
I always thought that things would get better. I'm sitting in a bank with a Deere John letter, Dear John. Through the day-to-day and the troubles we've had, all of our good times and all of the bad, Dear John. Now they want me to sign my life away, put my John Deere up for auction today. It'll take a miracle and praying hard to find a way to save this farm. 5 generations of sowing and reaping, and I'll be the one who just couldn't keep it. I know that life and times have changed, but nothing runs deeper than a farmer's pain when they take one piece at a time till his whole life's gone. Dear John, well, I guess we've reached the end of our road. Nowhere to turn and no place to go, dear John. We worked together to build this life. Now I'm watching my dreams just wither and die, dear John. Don't want to say goodbye to you. Got till 5 o'clock for the bank to come through. Take a miracle and praying hard to find a way to save this farm. 5 generations of sowing and reaping, and I'll be the one that just couldn't keep it. I know that life and times have changed, but nothing runs deeper than a farmer's pain when they take one piece at a time till his whole life's gone. Dear John, call came in, I said, is it true? Said the farm is yours, son, the bank came through. It took a miracle and praying hard, but God made a way to save this farm. 5 generations of reaping and sowing, and I'll be the one to keep that going. I know that life and times have changed, this old farm's worth the pain. If you don't think I fight for you, then you'd be wrong. Dear John, dear John, dear John.
All right, there it is, Dear John by Craig Hendricks, the featured song of the week. And of course, Craig's pick of the week is Cowboy by Ashley Best. Y'all check it out. that was Ashley Best. Craig Hendricks' pick of the week is Cowboy by Ashley Best. You guys make sure you're following along with everything that Craig Hendricks has going on at CraigHendricksMusic.com. His social medias are Craig Hendricks Music on both Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So follow along wherever you like to follow your musicians and artists. Make sure you're streaming the brand new single Deere John from our buddy Craig Hendricks. And guys, thanks for tuning in for episode 83 of this show, wherever you're watching. Make sure you're following along with everything we have going on at the Boston Chris Show. And we are also award nominated officially for the Texas Country Music Industry Awards 2026. That award show is in June. Can we take home Podcast of the Year? You'll have to find out. Guys, in less than 2 hours, we will be live again with episode 84. I'll see you then, and I'll see you down the road.